All right, so today's kind of a big one. Today is week 12, 90 days of steady working out, eating healthy. It's the longest I think I've ever done it consistently, of just every day, counting calories, working out, and sticking to a routine of diet and discipline and exercise. So if we go back to Monday, I did 1,421 calories. 1464 Tuesday. Had a high Wednesday for some reason. 1803. What did I have? I went heavy on the carbs. I had a shrimp quesadilla and a half salad for lunch, and then 2 ground beef tacos with flour tortillas, which was 650 calories, 40 protein. But I brought it back down on Thursday to 1326. Friday, 1379. Saturday, yesterday, 1560. Today we're gonna get a quick workout in and then go play some airsoft. So I did start working out again this week lightly. I went to the dumbbell shoulder press and stuff on a lighter weight. I did it at 20 pounds. For the shoulder press and the bench press, the dumbbell bench press, like the floor press. I wasn't using the bench. I was doing it on the floor, so to kind of keep my arms from overextending. Slight pain, but not bad. Like I said, I did decrease the weight. One of the big things I want to share is at my 90-day mark. Where's my little note? I keep my measurements at the front of my book. So my neck at the 90-day mark, I'm down 1.63 inches. My chest, I measure around my nipples, I'm down 4.25 inches. This is the big one. My stomach, I measured it and it's official. I'm down 7.5 inches around my, I guess it's my waist. I call it my stomach, it's just my belly button. I measure my waist where I wear my pants, like lower under my belly. For that measurement, I'm down 4.8 inches. My left thigh is down 3.5 inches. My right thigh is down 3 inches. My left arm is down 2.95 inches. My right arm is down 3.1 inches. So this exercise, diet, and discipline I'm doing, it's working. I'm gonna step on the scale and I'm hoping, let's see, last week I was 312, so I'll love to be 310. I'll probably be 311. But let's step on the scale and see what it says. All right, this is the week 12, 3-month weigh-in, 90 days, 310.8. That feels really good. That's a small win. So live for them. All right, so, you know, I'm excited. I'm 310.8. That's outstanding. It just goes to show you, no matter what you've got going on, no matter how much you're struggling, just go for it. You know, live for them. Choose to make those decisions that lead to a healthier lifestyle. Choose to be an example to your family, your friends, and choose to live for them. Whether that them could just be you. Better yourself for the potential that you have in the future, for the future family, the future friends, the future whatever you have moving forward. You know, this is crazy for me to see that. You know, it's not motivation. I've done workouts before. It's like, yeah, I'm super motivated, and motivation absolutely fades. One of the biggest things I've learned along this 90-day journey so far is that it's just discipline. You know, you hear a lot of these fitness people that, it's oddly enough, my YouTube stuff's changing. It went from, you know, guns and camping and, you know, other stuff to it's a lot of workout stuff. And you see these guys that are in shape. It's hard to listen to them because they're always in shape. You look at videos for years and they've always been in shape. And when you're a big guy like me, it's hard to be like, well, they don't understand. Like, I'm trying, I'm dieting. Like that week, what was that, week 5 and 6, where I went from 321 in week 5 to week 6, 321.4. I stayed at my 1,800 something calorie deficit that I, you know, at the time that I was doing. I worked out every day, and then somehow at the weekly weigh-in, I went up 0.4 pounds. That's super frustrating. And you know, I had comments, you know, some of them were good and supportive and some of them were bad. They're like, well, you're not counting calories, you know, fat, so this, that, and the other. And it's like, you know what, like, who cares? You know, that could have discouraged me in the past. It may have. because I did everything right. I measured my calories, I counted calories, I stayed at a deficit. I worked out every day. I don't get it. Sometimes that happens. So just stick with it. Sometimes, just that steady discipline, that steady consistency. And I do see that. That's what a lot of those guys say, like, to do this. It's just, in my mind, I think, oh, well, they get to go eat. They don't exercise every day. No, they do. Like that. I didn't realize. I see thinner people like my wife. She doesn't have a ton of weight to lose. And she's been mostly thin our entire life, even after she got pregnant. She gained nominal, like minimal weight when she got pregnant, and then lost back down to where, 2-3 years ago, she's 117 pounds. Okay, she's 5'6", so she was smoking. And then we both put on a few pounds, but she doesn't really work out. She eats ice cream, candy, junk that I don't. Even before all this, I don't eat ice cream, I don't eat candy, I don't like desserts. She's a sweets tooth person. I'm not. And she doesn't work out. She always just stayed thin. And it seems like she could eat whatever she wants. I just looked at food and I'd gained 10 pounds. I didn't understand that. And now that we're both working out, she's down, I think, let's see. She just weighed also, she's down 15 pounds. My son, he's also down. So both my wife and my son are down 15 pounds. So that's outstanding, and they're working for it. And I see that now. I get it. Like, when you want to look, I don't necessarily want to be like muscly and, pecs and six pack and all that, but I want to be thinner and in shape and able to go run a couple miles or go on a 5-10 mile hike with my family and not be gassed and be the slow guy at the end of the end of the trail, walking and gassed out. And, I want to be able to just live. And I get it. It's just steady consistency. It's the slow game. I want to get down to, truthfully, my goal is 180 pounds. Like, my end goal is 180 pounds. And I'm seeing that that's not going to happen overnight. Everybody wants those overnight results. I would love to have overnight results. You're not going to get it. And it's a lifestyle change, learning to, like, doing this, tracking my calories. This is new to me. I've never tracked my calories. I was planning on only counting my calories like 14 days, just kind of doing a 14-day tracker. And I find, like, I started seeing results doing it. And I started understanding, man, I thought I was eating healthy, but I was really not. Like I mentioned, I think one of my videos about the nuts, and it was killing myself with the nuts. Peanuts and cashews and almonds really curbed my cravings. And so I had like a half a cup of each in my lunchbox every day. Well, it turns out that's like 12 to 1,600 calories. So even though I'm eating a salad and tuna fish and other healthy, low calorie options, I didn't think to count the actual calories in everything I was eating. And come to find out, even though, yes, those peanuts would curb my appetite, sometimes I would just only eat the peanuts or only eat the cashews, throughout the day. But sometimes I'd snack on all three, then come home and finish all three when I get my cravings. And so it was like, boom, there's an extra 1,600 calories. I eat less than that now. And I was doing it with just nuts, peanuts, cashews, and almonds. And I thought I was being healthy. And I couldn't understand why I'm gaining weight, or why I started, before I started this Live For Them journey, I just tried dieting and eating healthier just by thoughts, like, well, I'm going to eat this tuna fish. I'm going to eat more salads. I'm going to eat less bread. I'm going to eat less of this. But I didn't track or count anything. And I thought I'm being healthy, and I wasn't. What I thought was a healthy snack with the nuts ended up shooting myself in the foot with my other efforts. Before I really started this Live For Them journey, truthfully, last year from January to April, I was working out 2 to 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes just Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It wasn't consistent. It was just kind of, I'm tired today, I won't do it. I was eating what I thought was healthier. I was eating definitely less than I had been. And then we went on a vacation in April for a week where we didn't, we went on a hike, like I mentioned. And we hiked up a waterfall. We went to, where was that? Oregon. It was Multnomah Falls. It's like a 2 or 3 mile hike or something. Beautiful. I mean, we loved it. It was Easter Sunday last year. We went up there and did that, and it was great. But I was dying on that trail. My kids are running, and they're running up, 100, 200 yards, and it's an incline, a hella incline. And they're running up, running back to dad, running up, running back to dad. And dad's going slow. I made it. I did all of it. I stayed at a steady, just trudging through it. And there's about a halfway point, there is a bench. And I was like, all right, I did sit down at the bench. But I just steady, just going after it. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to drag. I don't want to hold my family back, My wife and kids, like I said, my wife kind of stayed with me, but my kids, they would run up. We're just about where we had to stay in eyesight of them because there's a ton of people there. But they'd run up, they'd run back. And it's like, dude, oh my God, I wish I had that kind of energy and stuff. But I want to be able to do that stuff. Like maybe go do it again when I hit my goal. And just, there's a guy there that ran it. he ran it. And he ran all the way to the top, all the way back down. And he did it. I mean, he was just running it. And I stopped him. I was like, dude, how are you doing that? He said, well, I live here, the elevation, I'm used to it. And he said, it's just part of my exercise routine. It's like, dude, oh my gosh. And I think I stopped him on the second time. He ended up running it 2 or 3 times. He passed us like 5 or 6 times. And it was just like, dude, oh my gosh. And we weren't I wasn't the only one struggling. I will say that. It did make me feel kind of good because it was a very touristy spot. There's lots of people and people were struggling. And that just shows our culture, like our society, where we're at. Yeah, I want to be able to do stuff like that with my family and not hold them back, not be, let's run back to that. And my kids, they were having fun. They weren't negative about it. But it's still like they did twice the walking and stuff I did, and had a blast. But, I want to be able to do that kind of stuff, whether it's going hiking down here where we live or go on a hike somewhere else on vacation. And even though I made it, like I was gassed. When we were done, I was like, I need to sit down in the car, take a break. We went to a pretty park down the road and had lunch somewhere. But I definitely needed that break. And so this is big, man. Get that discipline, get that consistency, and just stay at it. No matter what anybody tells you, just stay positive, stay at it, and just do it. And just keep doing it and doing it, even when you don't feel like it. So anyway, turn this into a long video on accident. But this is Jacob. We live for them and keep living for them. Keep doing it.